What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, Mr. Meyer, with the fire, here to share ideas and take the collective vibration higher. And my sole intention is to reconcile all paradox with love and truth. I love you. This is Mars Day with Mark number 24. This is the astrology breakdown for November 21st to November 28th, Tuesday to Tuesday. I'm going to show you the main events, the highlights of this week, and what to expect. So if you guys enjoy this video at any point, please drop that like button and show your boys some support. So without further ado, this is the chart of the moment. This is the chart 1 week from now. You can take time to pause and reflect if you want to look at it. Ignore the houses, just look at the signs and the aspects. There's a lot going on this week. So I will say the major highlights we have is our sun is changing signs. We're having a full moon in Gemini. Mercury is going to be starting its pre-retrograde shadow, and we're going to have Mars changing signs. So we're going to take time to talk about that at length. First thing to really cover is that we're going through the very tail end of Scorpio. So the Scorpios are about to go back to the back seat, and Sagittarius is about to step up on the scene. Show some love for the Sagittarius. Represent. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you are a Sagittarius. Regardless of where your sun is in your natal chart, the sun in our sky is going to be highlighting these stars for the next 30 days. So this is like the new theme, the new season, so to speak. And we could use a little bit of Sagittarius at this point because Scorpio is quite serious. It's quite intense. And Sagittarius is very lighthearted and very buoyant and joyous. So there's a lot to cover, and we will do an extended breakdown about Sagittarius season. The main focus is going to be keeping a sense of optimism or searching for meaning within your life. So this might make study and your spiritual endeavors very important, and travel might even be an interest for you at this point. But either way that goes, that's going to say that the lens that we have on life is a little bit wider because Sagittarius is the big picture. So the big picture is the focus for the next 30 days, which is really cool. And we kind of have a hard transition into Sagittarius season this year. We have the sun moving in. We still have Saturn sitting at 0 degrees of Pisces, and that's going to make a 90-degree angle. And when the sun is square Saturn, it's a really dark day on the earth because essentially this represents a conflict between our fears and then our drive from our ego. That looks like self-imposed limitations. So the point being, the day leading up to Sagittarius, the first day and the day after, serious couple of days. So your best bet is to be easy on yourself and to keep a positive mindset, because if your aspirations for yourself or your expectations of life are too rigid and inflexible, you're prone to feeling disappointed or defeated or pessimistic or even depressed. So it's a character building arc that we're experiencing this first week of Sagittarius. Ultimately, you got to give yourself time to grow into the person that you want to be. Success is a journey. Rome wasn't built in a day, so you have to give yourself time. The important thing is to focus on joy, because whatever you're focusing on, you're bringing more into your life. Keep your head up. It will be a serious couple of days, but don't let that growth dim your shine. So the moon this week is waxing, and that means it's gaining light. And that means it's time for us to be taking action on our goals and pushing towards our intentions. At the end of the week on Sunday night, Monday morning, we're going to have the full moon in Gemini, and that's going to be the peak of the lunar cycle. And this is about switching into release mode and letting go and shedding our old skin. And this is a pretty intense full moon this year, I will say. Not only is the moon going to be opposite Mars, which is going to leave a lot of us feeling really inspired and charged up or tired, we have the moon and the sun square the black moon Lilith. What this cycle really looks like is being confronted by our shadow, or us choosing to confront the shadow. This says things are a lot deeper than they seem, and we may have to take initiative to step beyond our regular perceptions and viewpoints to see if there's anything hidden or anything behind the scenes or anything occult that we may not be consciously aware of. It's said if we don't understand the unconscious, it will direct and dictate our life, and we'll call it fate. Really important time come this weekend for us to sit with ourselves and maybe even intentionally isolate or enjoy your introspection time so you can realize how you might get in your own way. Even when you're involved with the external world and people, take time to see yourself beyond yourself and pay attention to your patterns to see if there's anything lingering in your subconscious that you might want to change or lean into, for better or for worse. Where Gemini is concerned, which is where our full moon is, this represents fun and excitement and getting involved. So it's really important in this lunar cycle that we take time to again focus on joy as we move through the season of Sagittarius, and what lifts your heart up and what inspires you to get involved. A really good way to do this is just to get organized and to start taking away the distractions that you get caught up on every single day. And that in itself can be monumentally important, where you get so much more done while doing less, just not getting caught up on the bullshit. This is pretty important because this week Mercury is going to be making its pre-shadow. And Mercury is the first planet after the sun. It really talks about how we think and communicate and how our mind operates. And while Mercury's in Sagittarius, just like the sun, we're going to have a wide angle lens on life, and we're going to be looking really deep at things for meaning. So when Mercury goes retrograde, everything built out of intellect, communication, or logic can go through a slowing down process. And that's going to mean we're going to need more time to revise communication or contracts and agreements, and travel itself might be a little bit more challenging. But this is the pre-shadow. So what I want to tell you guys is that Mercury retrograde hasn't started, but when Mercury goes to 22 degrees of Sagittarius on Saturday, this is going to be the exact point where Mercury retrograde stops. Mercury is going to continue through Sagittarius. It's going to go into Capricorn later on next month. Then it's going to reverse its direction and then end up back at 22 where we started. So while Mercury is in the pre-shadow phase, I just encourage you guys to again get organized, to remove the distractions, and to see if you can slow down how you're perceiving things to create more efficiency. Because that's really the essence of what Mercury does. It governs all powers of processing and analysis. So if we can take the initiative to remove the fuckery in front of us, it makes it 10 times easier, trust me. As soon as Mercury starts its pre-shadow, it's gonna move into a square with Neptune. So what that looks like is exaggerated sensitivity to any fucking thing in the world. And what's gonna be your best bet, once again, is to remove the bullshit and maybe even calculate methods of escape. Be intentional with the ways that you do get distracted. Above that, avoid exaggeration when it comes to communication or the way that you start thinking about your life. Try not to take things too far beyond reason. Now more than ever, make that shit make sense. So moving forward a little bit, Venus is in the sign of Libra, and she'll be here all week. Venus represents our love nature and what we value and how we relate to ourselves and each other. And Venus is home in Libra, so this is beautiful. Goddess is having a good time. So we should all be experiencing the beauty that life has to offer on some level. The beauty that we are, the beauty that other people are, and just the peace that experience can give us. A central focus for us now is our relationships and our connection with each other. And deeper than that, literally feeling at peace with the world and one's ideals. Libra is the scale, so this can even represent justice or morality or our law. So there's something to be said about keeping a clean conscience when it comes to Libra Venus. Do you feel at peace within yourself? Are you being honest? Are you being fair? Are other people treating you fair? Are you living and speaking your truth? That's really a good question with Venus and Libra and Uranus and Taurus. Beyond not having to remember what you said whenever you tell the truth will always come to light. So speaking the truth sets you free and protects you at the same time, which is really cool. And we got some action with Mars this week. Mars is going to start at 28 degrees of Scorpio, and then it's going to end at 3 degrees of Sagittarius. So on Friday, Mars is making its ingress into Sagittarius. We're switching once again from a more focused and disciplined way of using our action to a more broad-minded and expanded mode. What this looks like is you may be increasing ambitions this week. You may be noticing that you're capable of a whole lot more and that your potentials are a lot higher than you realize. Mars in Sagittarius is also going to make us reflect on the meaning of our actions and the principle of why we do the things that we do. But just like the sun, Mars is also going to make a square to Saturn as it moves into Sag. And what that's going to mean is intense discipline and maybe even overdoing self-control. Too much discipline. It's important to be cautious and restricting when it comes to your impulses. At the same time, not to overdo it to the point where you deny yourself the experience of your desires or the things that you truly want to express. Strong Mars-Saturn aspects also can talk about being overambitious or overachieving and not being satisfied by your best effort or success. And that's really fucking rough, man. So I'm telling you guys once again, this week is a transition into Sagittarius, which is a little bit more lighthearted, but with the aspects to Saturn, this one is a little bit more fucking dark, if I'm gonna be straight up. Same thing with the way that there's a Lilith aspect on our full moon this week. Shit is like the trenches still. It's like Scorpio part 2, the electric boogaloo. Just want to say, keep on keeping on. Same thing we've been doing. Keep eliminating the bullshit. It's a macrocosmic banishing ritual. It's time to excrete all the fuckery. Anything that doesn't serve, get it the fuck out of here at this point. Which is funny because once we hit that full moon, we'll be waning and the whole theme will be released once again. And even during that waning moon release, we should be picking up some momentum and speed when it comes to the direction we've been intending as we've been releasing. The real important thing you need to note when you're listening to this breakdown and thinking about the astrology is that Jupiter is in Taurus, Saturn is in Pisces, and these two are really connected in a special way. Jupiter is going to lead us towards our growth. It's going to help us expand and learn. And this is all coming through the material plane right now. It's all coming through logic and being grounded and stable. It's time for you to focus on your physical health, focus on your well-being and your connection to Mother Earth. When it comes to Saturn and Pisces, it's really about the structural lessons the world is learning right now. And we'll all feel these personally. This is building your dreams. This is taking something from your imagination and making it real in some way, shape, or form. And your dreams aren't going to be built in one day. You're going to have to be patient when it comes to creating your vision externally. And also, you're going to have appropriate limits when it comes to empathy and compassion and giving, which is a very Pisces thing. You have to save yourself and make yourself your first priority so you have enough to give to the greater good. Ultimately, the law of attraction is a very real thing, and that just says that we are going to bring into our life what we resonate with and what we spend our time and attention on. So you have to live your best life to give your best life. If you give your best life, you'll be living your best life. It's hard to live it when you're not giving it. The challenge with that one is, how do I think beyond how I feel if my thoughts are conditioned by my feelings? You need to sit your ass down and tap into the power of imagination. When you go in the present moment, you can extend into the future and embody those emotions right now. That can send the universe, through the law of attraction, the same message as to what you want to receive. But you can't be distracted to do that. You can't be looping and living in the past, or you can't be so far anxious about the future that you're not even embodying what you want to be experiencing, or you're embodying the fear of it. You get me? So take time to imagine literally getting everything you want from your life, enjoying it too, and then see how good life gets. Tell the universe too, I want to see how good life is gonna get. Come back here and tell me how good it gets. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and a comment. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope the sound quality was better in this one. We might have fixed it. We might have done something. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Once again, you guys take care of yourself and don't take life too serious this week. Enjoy it. Blessed be.